Big immigration shake-up in the UK. From September 27, 2025, major changes hit work visas, student routes, and dependent applications, and if you're planning to move, study, or bring your family, these updates could completely change your plans. Here's everything you need to know before it's too late. Starting with work visas, the UK is tightening eligibility criteria while also opening new pathways in certain sectors. The biggest shift is the rise in the minimum salary threshold. Employers now need to pay skilled workers a higher wage to meet visa requirements. This means that if you're applying under the skilled worker route, your offer must reflect the updated salary levels. The government argues that this will ensure jobs go to highly skilled professionals, but critics say it could price out younger applicants and those in industries where wages traditionally sit lower. On the other hand, the UK has also expanded its shortage occupation list, giving opportunities to professionals in healthcare, engineering, and digital technology. That means if your role falls under the shortage list, you may still qualify even with a slightly lower salary than the new threshold. Now let's talk about study visas, an area where many international students have been eagerly waiting for clarity. The rules around bringing dependents are changing yet again. The UK government is rebalancing its approach after a surge in dependent applications earlier this year. From September 27, postgraduate students on research-based degrees will still be allowed to bring their dependents, but taught master's students will now face stricter conditions. This is seen as an attempt to manage net migration numbers while keeping the UK attractive for global talent. Additionally, universities will need to take on greater responsibility for monitoring compliance, meaning students may face tougher checks both before and after arrival. Another major update is the post-study graduate route. The government has confirmed it will remain in place but with some modifications. Graduates will still be able to stay in the UK for 2 years after completing their degree, or 3 years for PhD holders, to work or look for work. However, the pathway to switching into a skilled worker visa will now require meeting the new salary thresholds, which could make it more challenging for some graduates to transition smoothly into long-term employment in the UK. Moving on to dependent visas, the changes are quite significant. The UK is introducing stricter financial requirements for those sponsoring dependents, meaning applicants must demonstrate higher savings and income levels. This has been justified as a way to ensure families are self-sufficient upon arrival. There are also new English language requirements for certain categories of dependents, reflecting the government's wider integration policies. For many families, this could mean additional preparation and documentation before even submitting an application. One of the most talked about points is the impact these changes will have on international recruitment. Employers in sectors such as healthcare and construction are voicing concerns about being able to fill vacancies quickly. At the same time, universities are under pressure to maintain their competitiveness globally, especially against countries like Canada and Australia that have recently introduced more flexible immigration policies. The UK government insists these reforms strike the right balance between attracting talent and managing migration numbers. So, what does this all mean for you if you're planning to apply? If you're a worker, double-check whether your job meets the updated salary requirements or falls within the shortage occupation list. If you're a student, pay close attention to whether your course qualifies for dependent sponsorship and prepare for additional compliance checks from your university. And if you're applying as a dependent, make sure you meet the new financial and language requirements. Overall, these changes are a clear sign that the UK is reshaping its immigration system to focus more heavily on economic contribution and long-term sustainability. While opportunities remain, the path has become more selective and competitive. It's essential to stay informed, plan ahead, and prepare your applications carefully to avoid setbacks. The landscape is shifting, and those who adapt early will have the best chance of success.